Much like some of today's events, this next article just disgusts me to my core. I know I shouldn't be surprised because it's coming from Ubisoft, and I know to a degree you're just going to start saying, well, you're equating certain events of the day with video games. I am personally offended. Kindly take that and go out, because I am not trying to equate that. But I'm also trying not to focus too heavily on it because it could be too easy to focus on national events and far less to try to, you know, just work past it. I've already given my condolences on the situation in Boston in my last video. I don't feel that today I have to constantly repeat myself. And I'm waiting for the investigation before I even form any kind of opinion on anything that happened today with that. Now, hot off the whole Adam Orth debacle, which led to him leaving, or possibly being asked to leave. We have no official word, just that he's gone from Microsoft, which, way to go, because that guy was a total douchebag. And you shouldn't be a douchebag and be in this industry and expect to keep your job. Ubisoft thinks audience is ready for always-on consoles. Company suspects will be fine with DRM locked system. Let's see. A DRM loving company like Ubisoft, who says that DRM is necessary, yet 96% of their products are still pirated despite the DRM, is saying that the world, and indeed, or at least the audience, especially here in America, where I would remind you we have some of the worst internet infrastructure almost of the world. Some places in our country still are dial-up reliant. Some can only get internet out of satellite. And you want to force a console and a concept that we as a people are ready for this? Setting aside the inconvenience to the customers in general that DRM and other things of its ilk have proven, that is just absolutely mind-bogglingly terrible ideals, given also the facts of our infrastructure. Not everybody has a reliable connection. Hell, my connection's been spotty for the last few months, or actually for the last month or so. There are some days I have half the day I have no internet. And when you're talking about a console that even for single player would need always online connection, well, you can just rightly go fuck yourself. Despite the massive outrage sparked by the ex-Microsoft employee Adam Arth and his suggestion that we just have to deal with an always-online console, Ubisoft thinks the game-buying public will be just fine with it. Responding to the question regarding a DRM-locked next Xbox or PS4, Ubisoft Montreal's CEO was casually in favor. Now you can read the rest of this article here. I'm trying to keep to my 10-minute budget for videos on this channel here, because I'm doing a fundraiser on the other channel, which I will get to in a video or two. My feeling with this is it's not just the Adam Orth. It's not just possibly the next Xbox. It's Ubisoft. It's other game companies who, in public, talk about their outrage at secondhand gaming, when really they actually generally, by and large, don't mind it. Although, as my manager friend from GameStop would say, there's a love-hate relationship. They don't really think it's worse than piracy, but they don't like it. But I digress. This is the next gen industry. Is this seriously, honestly, what you want? Do you want a console that if the network gets hacked or the servers go down, your system is essentially a paperweight? Not to mention, as Jim Sterling has spoken about in past videos of the Jimquisition, what happens when the servers for those particular games go down? Stuff we're dealing with right the fuck now with this generation. Where if a game, no matter how popular, has servers shut down, it no longer works, sometimes even in the single player, excuse me. See the future of SimCity 5, for instance. And that's what bothers me about the PS4, because if the PS5 becomes available and they decide, you know what, we don't think that the cloud backwards compatibility that we gave to the PS4 was really worth it or working, so we're going to shut down that cloud server and not host those games anymore. So now all that money you wasted not only on spending on a PS4, but on all the purchases you had to remake, because remember, your PSN purchases on the PS3 at this time will not transfer. So all those PS1 and PS2 games that you've been buying in bulk right now, and even your PS3 games off that PSN, well, better hope that that PS3 doesn't break down, because they're stopping support for the PS3 in 2015, as they've already stated. And so that's only 2 years from now. And if that breaks, well, you're going to have to shell out the money, or you're just going to have to face the fact that you no longer have that stuff. And if they never, though they say they are looking into it, but if they never fix this situation for the consumers to where your PSN purchases will transfer to the PS4, and if the PS4 shuts down its servers, you're fucked. And even if you don't buy the PS5, if you're still playing the PS4 and all the cloud services and they switch that off to go to the PS5, you're fucked. I'm not saying they will do that, but it's extremely likely, because the upkeep costs of these servers at times is ridiculous. But then that begs the question, if it's so much of a fucking hassle for you companies out there, then why the fuck do you make server-dependent games in the first fucking place? Oh, right! Piracy. I'm so goddamn sick of you talking ad nauseum about the horrors of piracy, when you as an industry are posting some of the biggest gains, save second only to the movie industry, who's also crying about piracy. And then you turn around, unlike the video rental market, you turn around and then try to say that, even though I know better, that you consider secondhand game sales to be worse than piracy. See, those were already 2 big glaring strikes for me against the industry as it was developing. These were developments I didn't care for, because if there was an absolutely measurable impact of piracy on the gaming industry, if people were literally losing their jobs over pirated games, then yeah, you might have an issue here. But it's actually major developers who are shutting down a lot of these studios, or holding these studios hostage and saying, if you don't buy this game, well, you know that beloved studio that you love so much? Well, we're just going to close it down. So give us what we want, or we won't allow you to have the future of what you want. And don't even get me started on intellectual property rights and the fact that certain creators can't use their own fucking creations and sequels they want to produce because, oh, the copyright property owners just don't feel that they want to trot out the license to allow a creator to use his own fucking creation. And you want to begrudge the general gaming public for pirating already stolen products? Fuck you, industry. So I'm already been mad and upset about the developments in the gaming industry, not to mention the boo-hooing about graphical limitations of consoles, despite the fact that when these devs try, they pull miraculously wonderful games out their ass, while still decrying the limitations of the consoles and saying that the world would be a better place if all we had was either computer consoles or just computers in general, because computers are the elite. And look, I have nothing against PC gaming. I'm currently making mods and models for PC games. In fact, I'm almost finished with a hot rod train that is actually a PC exclusive DLC for an old train simulator that I doubt many of you remember. And I'm going to be looking for a Skinner for that model, so that because I know it'll work in game with Grand Theft Auto 4, or excuse me, with San Andreas. But again, I don't want people thinking I'm a console elitist. I'm not. But when you're going to try to bullshit me and try to say that, oh, well, I feel unequivocally and objectively that this market is better than that market, despite the fact that actually right now, as far as computer sales go, computer sales are the worst that they've ever been. So again, tell me another story about all this wonderful market that is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and console owners just need to own up to the fact that they are happy with inferior products. You can equally fuck off, but I digress. The point being, though, I don't like where the industry is going. I haven't liked where it's been going for a long time, and right now, I think Jim put it best with his video before last. They're trying to rake in as much money before the crash. And a crash is extremely inevitable. A PS5, an Xbox 960, or whatever the fuck the next Xbox after this is going to be, are extremely unlikely. Even Nintendo, with their taking a hit by making this really stripped down console for this gen, though I will say the Wii U is fun, I still don't like its limitations as far as the shit that I'll have to maybe at some point in my life deal with, especially if I decide to make the stupid idea of going totally digital, as Nintendo kinda wants me to do. I'm done. I'm playing the games that I want to play of this generation, but I'm renting. I'm not buying. If I believe in a game, I'll buy it secondhand, if that, but frankly, I'm tired of this. The gaming industry, ironically, has made games into no fun anymore. Between the DRM and the other hoops that us legally paying fucking customers, loyal fucking customers, are jumping through for your DRM, and now you want to make a console that may as well just be called DRM the console? Now again, understand, the Xbox's always online connection thing at this point is not only extremely a stupid idea, but is a rumor. Nothing has been substantiated. But that doesn't give me much hope. And no, I'm sorry, I was not impressed with the circle jerk PS4 conference as well. I felt that was a very weak presentation. That was something just for the people who already were going to buy a PS4. I was not wowed by it. There's not much they're going to do that's going to wow me about it. And even though I know, or I'm at least it's rumored, that Little Big Planet 3, a series I've been very much supporting, although their business practices are in the toilet on some levels as well. I'm not going to buy next gen. I'm just not going to buy next gen. I don't want to have to deal with those headaches. I don't want to jump through hoops for you. I'm sick of jumping through hoops for the gaming industry. I'm not pretending, though, that my personal boycott is going to have any impact on the industry whatsoever. It's not. I'm not some, jackass who's going to think he's some hero of the people. No. I'm doing this for me because I don't feel dignified paying to be kicked in the balls by an industry that used to be all about the customers and is no longer about the customers.